I think that the world is obsessed with what black men do with their penises. It amazes me that it doesn't matter how famous you could be, what you could bring to the world. Like, it's like, were you gay? Like, if Jesus was to walk in a room, like, you'd be like, God, is he gay? You know, like it's all about, you know, like you can't get away from speculation. You know, no black leadership, you know, does not like it's I don't know, like we tear each other down with. Even with statements where we're trying to protect, you know, because I don't hear people say like and this is this is to follow what you said, DJ Selly, because I don't hear people say like in my heart I believe that he is gay. Like I don't hear people say in my heart somebody's gay, which means it's like are we programmed to assume that the congregation is straight? Like should I be programmed to look in the audience and be like, yeah, they're straight crowd, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, you can look in their face and tell.
Catherine Jackson knows. If you don't know, Catherine does, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what he was doing with his sex organs. But I think that, I think what he did for a lot of men who were queer, I think that he stretched the imagination of what a man could be, which is important because we should all be growing. Like we should not be limited to this one box of, you know, I have to be able to intimidate women and intimidate other men. So to be a being who's not about, main goal is not about intimidation, but can I get you to think about certain things that you have never thought about? You know, can I get you to imagine a world where, like, you know, people said, like, you can't be Jamaican and Muslim. Hold on, you can't be Jamaican and there's no gay Jamaicans and you can't be this and you can't. But can you challenge people to be like, you know, yes, actually I do exist, and I think that's what he did. I think he was like, I'm going to exist, like you never met another me. And I think that's why he's so important, because we never met another Michael Jackson.
I love it because I love what you're saying because Michael, I know several people, dancers, who can dance like Michael Jackson, but there's something not there. Do you know? And it's more than just Michael did it first. It's about who he was and the sort of, this man was famous for most of his life.
You mean like Usher, right?
Like Usher. I'm trying to start a fight right here. Well, these are Michael Jackson fans, so now you baby.
Well, there are so many things that I want to say about this. One is that Lene mentioned earlier the connection between, you know, Toni Morrison and Michael Jackson. And for me, one of the things that I've been saying for a while is that if I didn't live in the same lifetime as Michael Jackson, I would believe that he was a character that someone wrote. The complexities and the incredible genius are unfathomable on a certain kind of level. And yes, he was a human being, and there are geniuses all over the place and extremely talented people in this room and just out on the street and in the world who will never be known. But he is almost unreal, otherworldly, because of all the isms, because of all the talent, because of, you know, Gary, Indiana, because of the King of Pop type. Like, he runs the gamut of all the isms that we could ever encounter, especially as black people. And I think that we as black people, and a lot of people in general, have a desperation about sameness.
Oh yeah.
And how are you different? Why are you different? Okay, you're gay. Good. Okay, well, no, you're not gay. Like, what's this desperation about sameness that we have in conformity? That's one. When Mark Anthony Neal talked about queer, and in my notes, one of the things that I was researching about is this idea of like gender queer and gender fluidity. And Michael Jackson was very gender fluid. And he was also, again, a person who performed black masculinity in every traditional, stereotypical way that we think of it, but nobody was buying it. And that's the difference. He wasn't intimidating like we're all talking about. So he performed violence in his videos. He's smashing car windows. He wants to start a fight. You're not a man. unsafe. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? This dude is following me in an alley in the middle of the night and
Even if it's Michael Jackson, you're like, damn.
but he's Michael Jackson, so I'm not buying it. And shaming of weaker men. All these things that are like performances of stereotypical black masculinity, Michael Jackson did all those things, but at the same time, he was constantly having a physical dialogue with all of us by changing his appearance, by seeming effeminate. So these things were happening all at the same time. And then, one of the last things I want to say is that I read this quote yesterday and it's like rolling around in my head, and it was just something I found online, and it says, though he was a constant crotch grabber, that was more of a statement of him wanting to remove his penis rather than an affirmation of its existence.
I can't.
Blouse. All right?
Say it again.
Though he was a constant crotch grabber, that was more of a statement of him wanting to remove his penis rather than an affirmation of its existence. It was someone responding online, a comment left as part of a larger article, just a random person. And I just thought it was a very compelling statement, problematic, compelling, interesting, thought-provoking. You guys do with it what you will.